The films of Hayao Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli. When animation director Hayao Miyazaki founded his own studio in 1985, he called it Studio Ghibli, a name that would soon become synonymous with the finest animated features produced in most any country in the world. Not every Studio Ghibli release has been directed by Miyazaki, but his guiding hand is clearly behind all productions released through the company. Here are the major releases from Studio Ghibli, in chronological order. Note that this list is limited to titles with U.S. English language releases. Titles marked with a star are especially recommended. 1. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, 1984. Miyazaki's first feature production with him as the director still ranks among his very best, if not also the best in all of anime. Adapted from Miyazaki's own manga, also in print domestically, it deals with a post-apocalyptic world where a young princess, the Nausicaa of the title, fights to keep her nation and a rival from going to war over ancient technology that could destroy them both. There are endless allusions to modern-day issues, the nuclear arms race, ecological consciousness, but all that takes a backseat to a tremendously engaging story told with beauty and clarity. The original U.S. release, as Warriors of the Wind, was infamously cut down, which left Miyazaki wary of distributing his films in the U.S. for almost 2 decades. 2. Castle in the Sky, 1986. Also known as Laputa, this is another of Miyazaki's grand and glorious adventures, loaded with imagery and sequences that reflect his love of flying. Young villager Pazu encounters a girl named Shita when she falls from the sky and practically lands in his lap. The two learn that the pendant in her possession could unlock untold secrets within the castle in the sky of the title. As in Nausicaa, the young and innocent must grapple against the machinations of cynical adults, who only have eyes for the city's war machines. This was the first true Studio Ghibli production. Nausicaa was officially done by the studio Topcraft. 3. Grave of the Fireflies, 1988. Directed by Ghibli cohort Isao Takahata, this is a grim depiction of life and death during the last days of World War II when Allied fire bombings claimed many civilian lives in Tokyo, a story that has not been reported as often as the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Derived from Akiyuki Nozaka's novel, it shows how 2 youngsters, Seita and his little sister Setsuko, struggled to survive in the charred ruins of the city and fend off starvation. It's difficult to watch, but also impossible to forget, and definitely not a children's movie due to the graphic way it depicts the aftermath of war. 4. My Neighbor Totoro, 1988. Easily the most beloved of any of Miyazaki's films, and more than almost any of his others about the world as seen through the eyes of children. 2 girls have relocated with their father to a house in the country. To be close to their ill mother, they discover the house and the surrounding forest is a veritable hotbed of supernatural spirits, who play and keep them company. A synopsis doesn't do justice to the movie's plot, gentle atmosphere, where what happens isn't nearly as important as how it's seen by Miyazaki and his creative team. Most any parent should grab a copy of this for their kids. 5. Kiki's Delivery Service, 1989. A sprightly adaptation of a beloved children's book from Japan, also now in English, about a young witch in training who uses her broom writing skills to work as a courier. It's more about whimsy and characters colliding than plot, but Kiki and the clutch of folks she befriends are all fun to watch. Spectacular to look at, too. The Ghibli crew created what amounts to a fictional European town flavor for the film. The biggest problem is the last 10 minutes or so, a 5-car pileup of storytelling which injects a manufactured crisis where one wasn't really needed.